because
Okay,
there's
okay.
a lot of people that watch this and are big fans of Dragon Ball, but a lot of people have come up and have asked me before, even though I'm not in the business at all, who are voice actors and want to get into voice acting. So the question is that, you probably already know where I'm going with this. Is how did you get into voice acting? Start with Peter.
For me, it was getting into trouble in school. So that's my lesson. Get into trouble at school.
I'm not hearing you.
There's a career waiting for you. I used to just do a lot of imitations and things like that in class, and that led to me doing stand-up comedy, and I had a lot of characters in my stand-up comedy.
Okay.
And then that led into acting work. And, essentially you gotta like what you're doing. It's gotta be a bit of a passion. I mean, if you want to get into it, you probably get something out of it. And then it's a matter of, getting a demo tape together. I would recommend an acting class is probably the most important thing, so you kind of know what you're doing.
Okay.
Getting into a studio for the first time so you can hear your voice for the first time, because that's freaky, first time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's almost like
Like
when you hear your own voice on somebody's, like in the old days, answering machine or on a voicemail for the first time. You don't think you sound like that because in your own head you don't. So get into the studio, get used to it, so you can manipulate your voice and play around with it. And then if you still like it after a few classes, then you track down a voice agent, get a voice demo. And those are the steps, and then you kind of go from there.
Go from there.
Where were you based out of when you were doing that?
Vancouver.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Excellent. No, just keeping that Canada. I love that. That's dope.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
here
Canada
too.
going on.
A lot of Canada
Yeah.
going
Okay.
on.
That's dope.
That's true. I think you got to not be afraid to look like a fool. We do ridiculous stuff all the time. You got to be all right with looking like an ass and making crazy sounds, stuff coming out of your mouth that just seems ridiculous that you wouldn't normally do. The stuff that your parents would say, "Stop, cut that out, do that, go outside and do that." Right? So
Yeah.
those kind of things is what we do all the time. It's if someone says, "Okay, we need a squirrel falling out of a tree, landing on his ass, rolling down a hill, and screaming," we need a sound for that, Peter. Right? You got to come up with what that is. But it starts with the acting part still. You have to. Lots of people think it started. Hey, you've got a cool voice, and you can do Homer Simpson. You should be a voice actor. But we've already got a Homer Simpson, and there's lots of people with pretty cool voices out there. It doesn't mean you can act. Acting is still, it's called voice acting. It's that second part is what people tend to forget. You got to play off of each other. You've got to understand comedy, timing. You got to understand character, rhythm. It's very musical animation, and you have to sort of work so much in that area of the business and not just come up with silly voices.
It's kind of like comparing stand-up comedy. Like certain people can go on stage and be funny, but that's the difference. Is I know friends of mine that at a house party can kill you. Like they're just holding court, funny storytellers. They're destroying the room.
Yeah.
But if you make them, if you go up to them and you say, "Well, you got to be funny at 9 o'clock on a Friday." After the act before you killed for 20 minutes or 45 minutes if you're headlining. If you got to do that at a certain time to a certain group of people,
you can't be
that's
drunk.
the difference.
Yeah, it's your deer in headlights effect, right? Once you get up there.
Yeah, it's a little. Thank you.
Oh, thank
man.
you.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
they're
buddy.
ice
This is the
cold.
best.
Oh, no.
This is the
Mike
best.
Ross.
This is the best job in the world right now.
Best
Like
job
if
in the
you were an
world.
accountant right now, like an accountant asked for a beer in the middle of the day, nothing. He's
No.
gonna get shit. Nothing.
No.
Get your own goddamn beer. That's what you're gonna say to him. And your math is shitty. That's what you're gonna say to him too.
So,
Thank
me, I like to drink a lot. Should we do a lap cheese style?
I don't know.
I don't know if you guys can handle lap cheese
don't
style.
know what lap
Bombs
cheese
up.
style
Than
is.
anybody.
What is
like,
it?
Do the whole thing you're talking about right now?
Yeah, like a boss.
That's lap cheese
I
style?
just. It's not
He's
screwing
got,
around.
he's got nothing left.
It's got nothing.
Thank you.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good with the
That's
interview.
really good.
Makes the interview a bit more fun.
Yeah.
In my opinion, makes it more
Yeah.
fun. Anyway, great. Well, my turn.
Okay.
Now, when you guys are doing voice acting, of course, at the very beginning, you have to do more takes, right? So, how many takes are you doing your first year, and how many takes are you doing like when you got good at it?
Oh, when you got good. Assuming, got in the groove of it.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Between both of you, whoever wants
You
to
know
go
what?
first.
Sometimes it doesn't necessarily depend on how good you are at it. A lot of times it can depend on the director that you're working with. There's some directors that hear something a very specific way. You could be one of the most talented guys, been at it forever, and they over and over and over, no, like this, like this, like this, and you might do 30 takes for one person, where another director might have been like, I love that first one. We were just actually talking about this with Ed, Ed and Eddie, with Danny Antonucci, who created the creator of Ed, Ed and Eddie and many other great animated things the theater was on.
Yeah, because what Brian is saying, like, there are rookie mistakes you make in the beginning, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we're all, a lot of times you're in a room with everybody else, the whole cast is there, so you're, doing lines in real time opposite each other. And the first mistake, I guarantee you're going to make, is you're going to step on somebody else's line, and then they'll cut and just say, okay, we need it clean.
Yeah.
Wait till the other person stops talking completely, because if you overlap, that screws the take.
Yeah.
So there's rookie things you learn quick, and well, you better learn them, because if you keep doing that shit,
Oh
they're not
yeah,
going to
you don't last long. Yeah, those are the ones you got to learn fast. Yeah.
But like Brian's saying, there's really talented people. I remember Ed and Eddie, there were certain times where, some of the Eds, or even I played Rolf, so I had a weird accent going on the whole time. And Danny would drill, I'm friends with Danny, but Jesus, he could get into a mood where it was just, it's not exactly the way he wanted, and you would do literally 40 takes, 50 takes. It wasn't unusual to get to a point where you were really frustrated.
Right.
But the final product was awesome, so it's all worth it. But
And he's creator too, had to get what
he's
he
the creator.
wanted, so
I
it's come out a
see.
certain way. Other directors will let you fly, and they say, well, that first take was a little low energy. Let's just pick up the energy once. We'll do it one more time. Great, loved it, move on. And you can do a whole scene, and I like that whole second take of the scene. It could be 3 pages, not one line. Liked it all. We'll take that and move it on to the next scene. It really depends on the director.
Really?
In many
Okay.
cases, I think
If
so.
I was a director, I'd be pretty lazy. I'd be
Oh,
like, that was good.
Good enough
that
for
second
me.
take sounds like the first and the fifth take, so
Yeah.
we'll just keep it all.
Yeah, and also the same.
You know where that happens a lot is if you're doing radio commercials. 'Cause
Yeah.
especially if it's like a big agency, like if there's like more than 3 people in the room, it's going to be like a shitty day. It's going to take a long time, because all the people are there with their little notepads, and you'll 9 times out of 10 you'll do the first take and you're like, wow, that's really good, and we're like, wow, that was really, and then they
You
go,
nailed it.
what if we tried
Why would they do that?
those
If it was
4
so good?
deadly words? What if we tried?
Yeah.
And then you're there for 4 hours,
All the chefs.
and then almost always they go, I think we're just going to use the first take.
Wow.
And
wow.
then, you got to just sit there, and it's like, be professional and
Yeah.
know that a lot of these people that are directing these spots, they work in an agency. They're not directors, and sometimes they don't direct as professionally as somebody who knows what they're doing, who's directing. And so you got to work with it and get them what they want.
Usually the ones you see rolling their eyes will be the engineers, because they've done thousands
Right.
of commercials.
Right.
So they'll know, they'll be looking at you, because they're the one that has direct eye contact with you on the other side of the glass, and they'll be like, they'll be going, that was the good one, but they got the writer wants to say, a couple of new marketing people want to say, then it's got to go to the
Yeah.
client, or sometimes they have to finish it and send it to a client. They get a say. It's pretty crazy, but
They got to make everybody happy.
everybody wants
There's a
their
lot of people to make happy.
Yeah, and a lot of people, sometimes it feels a little bit about justifying their jobs. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I would like to the new intern that's there gets
Oh,
to.
can we try this?
I've been at somewhere, there's like an 18-year-old in the room who's interning from BCIT, and they'll be like, you know what would be, and I'm like, what the hell? I've been doing this for 25 years. Again, a 16-year-old over there has got some ideas. Sure, why don't we try what
Yeah.
they
I
said?
understand, because I'm doing tournaments.
Yes.
And I will have literally like 100 messages. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be doing
Yeah.
this. And of course, critiquing is important.
Yes.
So yes, I'll follow up and try whatever I can. But I can't give everybody what they want
No, you're
all
not
the
gonna
time.
make
Yeah,
right?
you can't please them
everybody
all.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you guys say? Or did you have something else?
Well, no, you go ahead. I'm getting ready to get them to do some like voiceovers right now,
sure,
man.
Sure,
Before
sure.
that, actually, okay, since you were gonna say that, does that ever bother you? It's like you mentioned the comparison about being an accountant. When you're off the clock. Cheers, by the way.
Yeah,
Cheers,
yeah.
When you're off the clock.
One more round.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm all
Yes,
about that.
please.
I'll hold it. We'll be here forever.
Yeah. Hey, what's the question?
Wow.
Yeah.
When do you get an interview and like you get someone come, take an order for drink.
This is
Can we just stay here for the whole weekend? And just,
We're just gonna chill here.
yeah.
Starting awesome.
Yeah, but
did
yeah,
you
I was gonna ask if is that okay with you guys? Does it ever become a bit overwhelming sometimes when people stop you and say, "Hey, do that voice"?
You know, if you go to a convention, you kind of expect it, and so that doesn't bother me at all. You know, it's like there's times if you're stuck at the table, you know, like we can't really move, but sometimes people kind of stick around for an extra long time, and they got a lot of questions, and they're interrupting other people coming in, and that's fine. But you usually, you're polite about it, and you say, well, listen, I just got to deal with these people behind you, but afterwards, the bar or something like that, you want to chat about it, no problem.
Yeah.
So
I'm usually more embarrassed to myself because I'm doing, you know, the same kind of lines to people, and embarrassed for whoever's or feeling bad for whoever has to sit beside me and hear me recite the same stuff. But I do know the person who came to the front of a line after they stood there for an hour or whatever, it's the first time they're getting to see you personally do it for them, and they've grown up with the show. Like it could be anything maybe I grew up with, and someone is going to say whatever Family Guy line right to me, do Stewie, you know, or someone's gonna do Bart Simpson right for you right there. I know it's special to them, so I have to think about that. Unfortunately, the person beside me, it isn't so special because they've heard it 1,000 times that weekend. Because we're talking about Chris Sabat, who plays Vegeta now with Funimation in Dallas. He made a comment about. He said, "Oh, you know, I love going to cons and you do the voices, but it does sometimes, you know, can be grating, even though your friends are around you and you love people that you have sitting aside." But he made a comment about being by the guy who plays Mario, and you know, and it's like all weekend long. It's me, like it's me.
No.
You just
All weekend long?
literally somebody. That's what they
But
want you to do.
I can't play 5 minutes of it
Exactly.
because it just.
But you can imagine.
I have to turn the volume down.
Yeah.
I'll be like, I can't put on full blast anymore.
No, but for someone coming up to hear the actual voice actor do it, it's a thrill for them. But if you're sitting beside the guy that said it 400 times that weekend, you're like, it's me, Mario. Oh, yeah.
That's a good impression, man.
well, he lived it for a whole weekend.
Oh, wow.
So-
Wow, if you heard it that many times.
I had one instance once at a convention. This kid comes up, and he stops in front of my table, looks up at my banner. I think he's eating chips at the time, which just makes the story better, right? Just then he looks at the banner, looks at me, looks at the banner, looks at me, and he goes, "You do the voice for Goku?" And I'm like, I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Let's hear it." And I was
Put
like,
you on the spot.
I was like, all right. So I do a line, and then he goes, "Must have been a long time ago." And he walks away. And I'm like, somebody get this child and remove him from.
We thought we had a heart, but we thought we had a heart. We definitely do not.
That's hilarious.
That's
the
like
innocence of a child, right? The honesty of a kid.
No filter.
No filter.
Must have been a long
oh man, that was my son. That'll be rough, man.
That's actually awesome. But that's a great moment. Still, you know, you made that child's life.
Oh,
It is true though. Like
Right.
sometimes, it's really cool because when they come up and meet us sometimes. Like some of these shows they grew up on, like Ed and Eddie fans. Sometimes will come up and they're like, "Oh, you did Rolf. Like, can I hear?" And you're like,
Oh, hello, Ed boy.
Oh my
and
God.
they lose their shit. They lose their shit. Like I've had people cry at the table. I've had people almost pass out at the table
Yeah.
because it's such an important part of their childhood.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about doing it.
That's amazing.
That is. I have like a lot of childhood memories watching Dragon Ball, but you know back then I had to watch on VHS, and I had the version that we just watched in Japanese, and we just tried to figure out what's going on.
No subtitles.
No, back then this was 30 years ago almost, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, not 30, but you know, kind of close to it. And then that's all I did.
Here's the coolest thing. You mentioned VHS. This is the coolest thing that I think me and Brian both signed. I think.
Kamehacon this year,
At Kamehacon last year.
Bring your VHSs in this weekend, please. There we
This
go.
is even better. And we get some peculiar things, but they got signed like sneakers and shirts, hats, all sorts of stuff. But this guy comes in and he had his VCR, the entire VCR, with him, and the Dragon Ball Z tape that he used to record the show on was still inside, and he played it so much it jammed and it killed the VCR, and he kept it.
Oh.
And we signed the actual
the actual
VCR.
whole
The
VCR.
You signed the.
He was walking around the entire
VCR.
unit, the entire unit with a Dragon Ball VHS tape jammed inside.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
So
is.
that was the coolest thing I think I've signed.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Dragon Ball
Streamlands
related.
even know what VCR is.
No.
Probably
Oh,
not.
yeah.
Okay, everybody in Streamland, we're gonna look at this. Okay, type in. Do you know what VCR is? Yes or no? And now we're gonna.
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a
seen
light
that?
piece of equipment.
Have you seen that clip on the internet where they get like two kind of millennial type age guys, and they have a rotary phone, and they go,
Oh,
"Here's
that's
a
a-
number. You got to call it.
You gotta
You
call
got
it."
3 minutes." And
They're
they're
like,
"What do we do? It's just 3 0."
Oh, I need to watch that
Yeah.
video.
Oh, it's
Did
funny.
they turn? What did they? It's unbelievable.
I can't unlock it.
Yeah, but if you've never, but that's like asking my grandmother to send a text. Like she had no idea, right, when she was alive.
Or even being of our age and understanding how useful an HB pencil was with a cassette tape. It's like, you want to.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes.
And if you didn't rewind, they charged you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. Blockbuster. Yeah. You don't take that back rewound. It's like it's
Oh,
on my
yeah.
bill.
Be kind, please rewind.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I told my daughter, it's like when I was young, we didn't have the internet. She's like, "What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean
did
you
you
didn't have
live?
the internet?
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't go online." She's like, "What?" She was like getting angry. She's like,
Angry listening to you saying that you couldn't get online.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. No, that's the first thing she asks in a restaurant. It's like, "Hey, can we get you guys some water? What's your Wi-Fi password?"
Yeah.
She's 9.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, the world has changed.
It's
It has.
changed.
You
Yeah.
still have a lot of Dragon Ball fans because
there
that's
are.
still going.
Yes, there
But a lot of people are probably don't remember a whole lot of the Dragon Ball Z because all the new ones are out and stuff like that.
Right.
But you know what we're gonna do is we're trying to get people to come in this weekend to get some autographs and
Sure.
some sound bites. Now,
Wow.
yeah. So what I wanted to do is give the internet a freebie, one freebie,
Oh wow.
one alarm clock freebie.
Okay.
So I mean,
The
we're
internet
gonna you're
has
gonna
a lot of freebies.
yeah, pretty well much. This is what you guys gonna get when you come in this weekend. Customize your own voiceovers. So for me, mine would be like, hey, wake up, Lapchi. Get the hell up and get the hell out of bed. You got lots of money to make. Or something like that.
Well, well, well. The Prince of All Saiyans here has something to say to Lapchi. Wake the hell up, you fool! Things to do, places to go, money to make, Kakarot's ass to kick. Get out of bed. Make the day bright.
Or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yes! That was a good take.
That's amazing.
No second take needed.
Yeah, he's losing it. He's
He's
losing his stuff
oh,
right
K-Brad's
now.
losing his stuff. You better be getting the full package this weekend. Okay? They're not staying here forever.
That's
Okay.
dope. That's dope.
Okay, the freebie for the internet. What freebie should we give for our alarm clock? Whatever you want to do.
You better get out of bed or I'm going to pour cold water on your senzu beans. And that could be anything.
Yeah.
Wake up, please. Wake up, man. Wake up and come down here. That would be great.
That's awesome. That's actually crazy.
I think K-Brad had a question. You don't have a question? I thought you were a big fanboy.
I am a fan, but I have no questions.
Yeah, he's hanging out. He's seeing it live.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it live,
He's got a
man.
good seat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
best seat in the house right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but what else should...
Yeah.
You know what? We might have to wrap it up pretty soon, so we'll probably have another 5 minutes or so at
Okay.
most.
I was just gonna say, kind of touched on this earlier, but again, can't emphasize since people, their memories might have already forgotten everything that you guys said when you're dropping gems like this. But do you have any advice to people out there that are pursuing this on, and they might be struggling right now? They're like, oh, I don't know, like how do I get out there? Do you have any advice to those people that really want to get into this?
You know what? We're currently at an event where if you're good at video games, you can actually win money and possibly have a livelihood. So if you told my parents that, 30 years ago,
You're crazy.
more, we usually get screamed at for playing too many video games. So
Yeah.
when you say that, I mean, look at where the world is right now. Like, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
I told my daughter where I was going, and she's like, "Wait a sec, you can make a living playing video games." No, you still got to go to school.
Yes.
You still,
That's correct.
Oh, I remember
you still
chewing out-
got to get a little bit of that in you.
Yeah.
I got older
But-
kids than Peter, but my son is pretty big gamer as well, 24. But I remember when he was young, probably early teens, and at about so this is about 10 years ago, at about the point when you're starting to watch people play, I was so annoyed.
Oh, yeah.
So annoyed. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? I say, like, we'd spend money on these video games, and we'd spend more time watching other dudes play the game.
Play the game.
I'm like, what are you wasting your time? Why would you want to do this? This is the
Yeah.
most. Meanwhile, I'm like a massive hockey fan. I will go to an event, not play hockey, and watch other people play this game. And I'm chewing him out for watching people play a game.
There you go.
It's the stupidest thing ever. Until now, I realize my team, the Canucks.
Canucks.
Sorry,
Calgary,
Calgary. They're not playing
and
tonight.
Vancouver, we don't like each other.
That's all right.
Not a
We'll
whole
meet
lot.
up we'll meet up in the playoffs this year.
Right.
It's going to be amazing.
It's gotta be
No
nuts.
matter what happens.
We let you have Kachuk.
Yeah,
okay?
we let you
We
have
gave
him.
you that one.
Freebie.
So enjoy that.
But,
Yes,
but,
watching
but the
people.
owners, the Aquilinis, have a gaming team. Who are the team? What's the name of the team?
Titans?
That's the Titans. Yeah, there's clearly. It's a phenomenal business to be in. So it's exciting to be part of this right now. And honestly, for people that are wanting to start out in the voiceover industry, there couldn't be a better time. The
No.
amount of free
great.
training that is available online,
Yeah.
like and the YouTube videos and the VoiceOver Buzz Weekly. I want to be a voiceactor.com. D. Bradley Baker, phenomenal voice actor out of LA, has got a site answers every question. I want to be a voiceactor.com. There's so much stuff that's just you can find online. You can practice accents online. You can do everything that you can learn. I remember one of my most challenging times. I wasn't watching a ton of TV. I ditched my cable in the mid-90s, about the time I was starting to work in voiceover. And it was an early voice audition I had for the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was being done in Vancouver. So it was being done. They were casting the voices of it there.
Yeah.
I showed up for one of the auditions. I had some dude voices ready, and then they said, well, "Okay, why don't you read for this guy as well?" I can't remember which one it was, but they said we wanted to be kind of like Chandler from Friends. And I was like, I'm not watching TV. I've heard of this Friends show. I didn't know which one was Chandler. I didn't know anything. And they said, well, come back and I had a call back, so they wanted me to go check it out. I had to go to Blockbuster Video, try and find Friends videos, fast forward to find this Chandler dude, and listen to his voice. Now someone even mentions to me, it's going to be a voice kind of like so-and-so. Beep, boop, boop, just 2 seconds later, boom, I can have 15 references of that guy's voice.
Yeah.
All the animated references of characters I want. BehindTheVoiceActors.com is a great site to listen to. Tons of actual voice actors and the characters they do. You can learn so much online. And then pretty much if you want to work in animation, you're probably going to have to be in a center where a lot of it is done. Because currently right now, most of the casting people still want a good portion of the performers on an animated show to be there where they're doing it. It's a little, unless because there's too many variables if you have your own studio at home. Is their mic going to be as good as the ones we're using here in studio? So if you try and send it in, they can have different levels, different sound qualities. So they kind of want you there. And those big centers do tend to be for ADR and dubbing, like Dallas, and for prelay type work, LA, Vancouver, New York, Toronto, tend to be the centers for that. Although I've heard it's kind of a growing industry a bit here in Calgary as well. So,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's starting to come up a little bit more certainly for the dubbing side of things.
Wow, there's no oil and gas here anymore. So
Yeah.
we got to look into like a different type of ventures here.
Exactly.
Esports is definitely one, and
Exactly.
it's got to be growing
Absolutely, yeah.
very well. So kids out there, remember, this is how you get in. He gave you all the advices you need. Is it very good pay?
Oh, it's great pay.
It's great pay?
Yeah, for prelay work, pays like film and TV. It's fabulous.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we paid a pretty good chunk to get you guys down here this weekend. So.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
paying us in beer, though.
Yeah,
so we've
exactly.
Oh,
It's-
yes,
Two beers a day is all they're giving us here. So you guys got to come down just so we
Yeah.
can chat with you here and to make the pain go away. This guy. This guy.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, I was waiting for some more. We have one more round of beer.
Yeah,
They
Oh,
for-
yeah,
it was
they-
on.
they
It was on.
completely forgot
let's-
about it.
Here's a funny story. You were talking about having to sound like somebody on a video game. years ago they were doing this Godfather video game.
Yeah, I remember
Right?
it. I
Yeah.
remember it.
So not only did they want us to match a voice of the characters, they were doing motion cap as well. So you had to go in, memorize your lines, because usually you got a script in front of you in voiceover. Memorize your lines and over accentuate, because in the motion capture they really like the extra movement.
It was really early days motion capture.
Right. So
yeah.
I'm auditioning for the role of Sonny, James Caan.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of work on the voice a bit.
Oh, that's dope.
And I'm auditioning for James Caan, and it's like,
Next time,
well, Michael, what are you doing? They're doing the voice, do the thing. It goes really well. I get a call back. That goes really well, and they're like, hey, you're around from this period of time to record. I'm like, yeah. So it's sounding like I got this, and I'm such a huge Godfather movie fan, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking this could be a cool gig. So a few weeks go by, and I ask my agent about it. I go, hey, whatever happened with the James Caan thing? And they go, oh, you didn't get the role of James Caan because they gave it to James Caan. So James Caan got that.
The James Caan.
So let me get this straight.
James Caan.
That's crazy.
James Caan got the role of James Caan?
Oh, okay. Damn it. That's weird. They didn't.
If you're gonna get beat out, that's the time.
Yeah.
That's the way to have it happen.
So he came out of, I don't want to say retirement because he has not really retired, but he came out of the woodworks and he did his own voice.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's Corona.
Yeah.
So that's what they drink here.
We're
in
supposed to be
Calgary.
drinking Molson.
We can do that.
Are they a
next.
sponsor?
Yeah, because we're sponsored by Molson.
Yeah, then we
What?
should do
No.
that. We should do
I
that
forgot,
too.
man. Okay, I'm sorry, Molson.
Next-
We'll be drinking
yeah,
Molson
next
all
interview.
Absolutely.
night long.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no,
I don't
hey,
even
cheers,
know what-
guys. Cheers,
We'll
cheers,
turn
cheers.
these around. These are Molsons.
There's a
I got
Corona somewhere. Oh, sorry. Okay,
There we go.
All right. So we're gonna sign off, and then next we have interviewing. I believe it's Robin Show. Are you guys?
Ah, very cool.
Oh, we met him down there.
You
Very
met him?
cool
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Robin Show, and then Kerry Tagawa afterwards.
Very cool.
So, if you guys want to give like a final sign off.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. Where can more
Oh.
people find information on you guys to
Okay.
follow what you guys got coming up next?
Oh yes, that's right.
For me, from my website, just petercalamus.com. There's
follow
kinda
you on Twitter
updates
as well.
At Peter Calamus, yeah.
At
And
Peter
they
Calamus.
link to each other, so
Okay.
just kick the old Peter. Luckily I got a normal name, or not a normal name, but a unique name. So there's not a lot of
People stealing it.
I've run into a couple fake Peter Calamus accounts,
Yeah.
Oh.
and I can shut those down pretty quick because I'm like,
How many?
no,
Calam-
there's no other Peter Calamus. There's very few.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that
that's a
works out good
bonus.
for me.
Nice.
Brian Drummond VO. That's Instagram and Twitter. That tends to be where you'll be able to find most things about what I'm up to in Vancouver, BC, or wherever I may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys pretty big drinkers?
Well, you're turning us into an alcoholic in this place, but
Are you trying to claim that fact now that you switched us over?
Well, some people
That's how
know
left-
me
that's
as
how
one of
left
we came here.
the better drinkers in this type
Oh,
of
now
community.
Now it's a challenge.
Now, and
this is a contest? I
I'm,
thought it was a gaming.
I'm just a 125-pound guy, man.
Wow.
That's
Right.
it.
You put him away.
But I don't back down from any drinking contests.
Wow.
I win
Look at this.
99% of them.
You
But
need a drinking game over here.
That's right.
He said
Forget the video games.
there is drinking
Set up
games.
some shots.
Tonight-
Let's get to it.
Tonight, when you make a bet on one of the gamers that's playing on, we're going to
Yeah?
bet loser does a shot.
Wow.
This
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So we'll be doing some
Wow.
gambling. This
Hey.
this community is all about
All right.
gambling.
Well, if we're not arrested, we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Meet.
Come see
whoever
us
can
right
come
now.
down
We're
and
going
say
to
hi.
go to some autographs right now, and we'll be around.
Yeah, we're gonna go
all
sign some stuff.
Weekend. Get
Make
on
sure
down
you
here.
guys
on
come
down,
on
guys.
down here, okay? They're gonna be here all weekend. It's not busy right now. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy, and Saturday's gonna be. I mean, Sunday's even gonna be crazier. So if you want to get the autographs, it's very good, and it'll be very quick right now.
And are you kidding me? Mortal Kombat, Robin, and Carrie in here in the house. I was like losing my shiznit already over there, those guys. So come on,
That's
get
pretty
down
cool.
here. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's do one chug. We'll see you later stream,
All right.
and then
cheers.
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 And we'll see you all down here, okay?
Later, guys.
Take it easy.